Hey AGA Staff, it's Nicole. It's the November 29th, and I'm just kind of going over a few things we got going on in the gym. A couple of upcoming things that we have. We have an extra practice on December 2nd, which is Saturday, for all the kids in the holiday show. It's not mandatory, but I do need a couple staff members here organizing the Mighty Tumblers and the Stars. I'm going to be a few minutes. Mighty Tumblers and Stars routines and people going over it with them. So that's the week before the holiday show. And of course, the holiday show is on the 10th as well. And that is all day. So I'm going to put out a sign up list in the office. And I need everybody to sign up because I need a lot of help for that. I need people signing in. I need people responsible for groups. I need dancers being out there for the front to help the kids. And I will assign you those positions, but I do need you guys to let me know if you're available on the 10th of December. And then the following Saturday is the staff dinner, which is, I'm sure you've all heard, very, very fun. My mom and Shane get a limo for all of us to go to the melting pot, and it's extremely fun, but it is a privilege, and it's a very nice thing my parents do. They spend a gangster amount of money on it, so having appropriate behavior, dressing appropriately is absolutely expected, and I'm sure all of you understand that. Moving on to apparel. You guys are more than welcome to wear any AGA shirt. I do realize that some of the ones that you have are short and you have to wear an undershirt underneath it, but I've kind of gone over this a few times. I don't want anything but black or white, sometimes gray if you need to, but I don't want any colors underneath your shirts. It's just distracting to me and it doesn't go with the theme of the gym. I need you guys looking athletic and professional. This is not a Forever 21 fashion show, see how we can accessorize or look sloppy. I don't want your hair messy and down. I want it pulled up out of your face. You should be exuding some kind of athletic look when you're coaching gymnastics. Second thing, parking. I need you guys to park outside of the parking lot. I don't want you guys pulling into the parking lot. I also need you to get a buddy to walk you out to your car at night when you're done. If you can't find anyone, come get me, or have Becky stand outside the gym, wherever's working the front, to make sure you get to your car safely. Trashes. This hasn't been a problem recently, but in the last couple days I've noticed when people sub, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do trash. And I think it was either Thursday or Saturday I came in and like 3 of the trash cans weren't taken care of. So it's the last Stars class of the day, except for Thursdays. It's the last Mighties class. And that includes Saturdays or whatever, and you need to make sure that you guys are doing that. When the trashes are left full, we get rodents, and it's just a pain in the butt to try to fix that and get them out of here. And then moving on to class management. I need you guys getting here early. It's part of your job. Getting here to do a setup for yourself and setting the courses up appropriate to the class, meaning I have classes Monday mornings and Thursdays, Mighty Tumblers, and they're 2 totally different levels. I can't have the same setup for one class as the other, so I come in early to organize that. I've been coaching a very long time, and I still have to take at least 15 minutes before each class to set up all the things that I need to do in that class. It'll help you. It'll make you way more motivated to get the kids because you'll know exactly what you're doing instead of getting to the setup and going, okay, what am I going to do here? I mean, it's not a good way of teaching, so I need you guys to come in with lesson plans and making sure that you have an idea of what you want the class to get accomplished that day. Terms. We're not doing a very good job with terms. I need every kid to know their positions: tuck, straddle, open pike, closed pike, flex point, where their shoulders are, their hips, their bottom, their thighs, their calves, all of these things. It's an education they're getting when they come here, and I need them to know it, and when you say it, have them repeat it back to you no matter how many times you have to do that. I love them to know their left and right, also their birthday, and it's just the more that you get their mind moving, the better they're going to do in the sport. Behavior. I am fully on board with enforcing good mannerisms and behavior. You just need to remember, choose your battles. If there's a really hard kid and he's paying attention for 10 minutes of the class out of a 60-minute class, work on getting him to pay attention for 15 minutes out of the class the next day. Try not to get irritated, but I also don't want you guys letting him just get away with anything. And make the communication open with him and his parents. Say, hey, we had a really rough time today, so next week let's try doing this, and giving people some goals and some ideas of how their child can get better. And by doing that, you're going to make the parent feel more involved, and you're going to get more out of the kid, and they're going to really feel like you care. And it's going to make your class a lot easier. Corrections. They're not too young for corrections. Telling them to squeeze their ears so that they can't hear you while they're doing their role is not very difficult. Getting them to get their feet to kiss and make noises is not difficult. So you're promoting good gymnastics and also getting them to think and be responsible for doing the skills properly. Safety. Every single time you get to a rotation, I need you to make sure that you're surveying the area. Is there any way one of these kids could fall over, hit their head on something? Is something uncovered? Is, the board sideways, so if they run by, it could come down on their feet? All of these things are super important, so I need you guys to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Boo-boos. I don't care how severe the boo-boo is. Get a supervisor to get them a glass of water if they're just being hyper. It's not your job to identify if the boo-boo is a big enough deal to get some ice. The kids always feel better getting a glass of water and also somebody boobing them up for a second, and usually they'll go back out on the floor. Also, anytime a child complains about something or makes an issue of something, I have to have an accident report on my desk by the end of the day with all of their information filled out. And there's specific things you have to fill out, like the child's home address and their phone number. These are things that need to be on there, so when I go in the next day, I can call the parent and see how their little finger is doing or whatever. So I'm made aware of it and it doesn't catch me off guard, or we're not liable for something and not taking care of it. Also keep in mind that every child in the gym should know what a handstand, a cartwheel, and a forward roll is, and they should be able to do all of those things. These are the most identifiable skills when somebody says they do gymnastics. Oh, can you do a cartwheel? Can you do a handstand? So let's make sure that we keep challenging the kids. Even if they're a mighty tumbler, there's no reason they can't start learning cartwheels and one-arm cartwheels and even round-offs in some cases, standing back bends, depending on the level of the child. And also you'll know the level of the child by looking at their cards. So whoever is doing roll, make sure that you're being very aware of what the mouses are doing and the monkeys are doing and the snakes are doing, so that you guys are still able to challenge each child. That's all I have for today, and I want to make sure that you guys are enforcing all the things I kind of covered today. And if you have any questions or suggestions for me and you see some area in the gym that could be improved, I would love to hear it. And I hope you guys are all having a great holiday season. And don't forget, if you have to get subs, to fill out a form, get it on my desk so I can okay it. And other than that, you guys take care. All right.